All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shatia from the Chicago camp. Coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. Just got off the gig, but thought I'd do a quick little in transit too on the way back to the house. And if you haven't been paying attention to the news, Dr. Foochie has gotten his hand caught in the cookie jar. All right. He's starting to confess the truth about a lot of things that he swore up and down to that it could be trusted. And the thing is, many people did trust the science, as he calls it. And we fast forward the clock 5 years later, we have millions of people who have gone into the spirit world. And I would say just as many, if not more, have suffered worse fates of continual sickness. Okay, you have children who are going to be born with congenital defects and pass those things down. People have become infertile. You have children who are suffering developmental delays because they were denied or they were forbidden to have human contact in classrooms and in parks and in movie theaters because they couldn't go to these places, or it was recommended that you stay a certain space away from them. And now, the truth is coming out. Something that we've told many people from the beginning. All right, that this was all just a test run, a precursor to what they eventually want to do. And this is why we told you all, as the scripture says, never trust thine enemy. As iron rusteth, so does his wickedness. You cannot trust a guy that works for a government or a system that since its inception has worked wholeheartedly in making sure they destroy all nations of people, especially you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? This government has a long-standing track record of making sure that when it comes to being experimented on for the so-called advancement of health and medicine, all right, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans have always been in the forefront. So when he said, trust the science, you should have never trusted science. When all these other people were co-signing on it, you should have said, no, I'm good. Because as the scripture says, these people are forgers of lies. They are physicians of no value, which is why I mentioned that Ecclesiasticus first. This is the reason why you cannot trust this guy. Okay? And you also have, I believe, is in the book of Isaiah, where it talks about how these people have made a covenant with death and an agreement with hell, and how they have made lies their refuge And they have hid under falsehood, roughly paraphrasing. Because this guy, that's the only way he is successful at doing anything, is by lying, being deceitful. Okay? There's always an alternative motive to whatever he's trying to do. Because now another thing that folks are finding out, I guess in a more specific way, they like actually trying to get the numbers. They're finding out that during the course of this time, where people were supposed to trust the science, Dr. Foochie, now I know that's not his name, but I'm saying it like that for a reason, because of what I'm talking about. But nonetheless, it's also found out during this time that this man made billions of dollars for himself and many of the other people in the pharmaceutical and medical industry because of the lies that they preached. So you now have a guy, along with his good corporate friends, sitting on billions of dollars off the backs, the bloodshed, the misery, and death of millions of people. Now he's being put on trial for the world to see. Now, will this guy do any time? Probably not. Because you have to remember what the book of Psalms says. These guys are not in trouble as other men. Therefore, pride compasseth him about. And that was a very little prideful man. A very prideful man. Because in his mind, he was like, yes, we were very successful at this test run. We had the whole world believe in the science, and it was all bullshit. You also think that this could be used as another distraction, along with what's going on with DJ Trump? Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to remember that this guy is a master at the sleight of hand. Look left while I'm doing something at the right. Look right while I'm doing something at the left. This guy's a master at it. And you have to realize this is something that's going to make a lot of people mad, naturally. And people are going to start coming after these big corporations if they can. Because you still have to get around the part where they said whatever results happen from the science, that you couldn't come back and take legal action against them. So people were forced to trust in the science, which they didn't want. And then when they strong-armed you to get it, if you suffered any side effects, They said, well, too bad, so sad, that's on you. Whew. Hey, that's why in the book of Revelation, our beloved brother John said he saw that one pale horse, and on it that sat was death. And during that time, from 2000 to now, that's all that you've seen is gross death. All because of the science. I happen to know a guy that works in the medical field, and he did not trust in the science. You know, he had faith. But nonetheless, he's told me quite a few stories that it just can't be a coincidence that many of these people either started becoming extremely ill or just dropping dead when they decided to trust the science. Once again, you cannot trust the enemy. His wickedness, like it says, you'll find out that his wickedness has altogether not been wiped away. What does it also say in there? Though we go down crouching and humbling himself, take good heed. Like, even though he humbles himself and with a big smile and a bald face and a tie and my doctor credentials, even with all of that, I'm telling you, it's for the greater good, and we can overcome this. Everybody got to do their part. Think of the children. Even with all of that, it said take good heed, meaning beware. Still be very mindful. Be cautious. This nigga did not change his spots at all. Even the scripture says that. Can a leopard change his spots? All right, can bad Uncle Esau be straight even though he's crooked? I forgot where that precept was at, but that is one. All right? This guy's MO is never going to change strictly because who he is. The wicked. According to Job 9:24, Malachi 1:3 and 4. All right, he is the wicked. And we're living in a time where all the deeds and atrocities of the wicked are being exposed. And Dr. Fauci is just one, well, I already said it, but nonetheless, he's one of many people whose wicked acts are coming to light. So this will be a very interesting circus act to watch. Like I said, do I think he's going to get any time? No. Is there going to be any serious repercussions from this? No. If anything, he'll probably have to pay so many millions of dollars in fines and reparations, and then he'll fade off into the sunset, and people having the short memories that they have, they'll forget all about it. But it's going to be definitely interesting to see what's going to happen, because I believe Rand Paul is going to get a chance to question Dr. Foochie. So, and you know, Rand Paul is always fired up against a lot of things. But yeah, we'll see what's going on with that. But nonetheless, I hope you all are edified. Until the next time, we're going to say shalom.